Hey,
He doesn't run off energy drinks. He runs off super chats.
I haven't been this excited since I saw this post from Chris Gore yesterday. That got me excited. You can't tell me those aren't badass. Come on, Ryan.
You know who wears those other than you and Chris Gore? Fat, disgusting slobs whose feet are so fucking fat they can't handle being contained in a normal shoe. So they need something like people with ankles and stuff who are like, they're so fucking fat their feet hurt when they walk. That's who wear this stuff.
Bro,
just so you know.
Those are badass, okay? Like, I said this on CobraCast last night, but if there's any dudes or you're trying to hook up with somebody like Sydney Sweeney, rock some Batman Crocs. She will not be able to resist you, okay?
Welcome, everyone. It's Friday, time for the Film Threat Friday livecast. I am Chris Gore. You are going to experience 8 reviews of movies playing in theaters, brand new out there. We'll talk about all of them. Plus, The Penguin. How is it? Are you going to jump on board? We will talk about The Penguin. Alan Ng is waiting in the wings. Let's get this show started. Let's go. It's Film Threat on a Friday. So come on. Join us. Let's go. Okay, where is Alan? He's so shy. He's such a shy person. I don't understand what he's doing. Where is he? Wait, I had him right here. Here he is.
Damn you, Alan. How dare you hide from Mr. Gore? Alan.
Hey man, how you doing?
Is that your let's get this started?
Yeah, it was because I couldn't find the video I wanted to play.
Okay.
So I was just getting started.
Right. Very good.
There you go. So cool. We have so many films to review. But there is a breaking news story. Alan, if you would put it up, we were talking about it before we started the show. We're going to quickly mention the passing of Maggie Smith.
Dame
Maggie Smith. A beloved actress whose career spans generations, dead at 69. 89.
Way too young.
Yeah, 89. She's been in so many franchises and films and had a long career. So Downton Abbey, even Downton, things like that. So, but Harry Potter mostly she's known for that. What are your thoughts on this, Alan?
Yeah, I mean, it's weird. First, I've always confused her with Angela Lansbury. And then most of my life, she's always been kind of background characters.
Right.
Like Clash of the Titans. I'm looking at Room with a View. And it really wasn't until Sister Act that I finally figured out who she was and how great she was. And then you go on to the Harry Potter series. So yeah, rest in peace. 89. They're dropping like flies.
Yeah, it's it's sad, but also, hey, I hope I get to live to that age. To be honest, like that's a good full life. And some
Just saying, this year seems to be actors dying at a very ripe old age, as opposed to dying too soon.
Well, I'll just say this: there needs to be more talent developed, because character actors are few and far between that have the kind of length of career of her. So
yeah,
let's go to people in the chat here. Let's get to your comments before we start the show.
Yeah, Red French Moon for €5. R.I.P. Maggie Smith, an amazing actress. Don't be a shy nerd and watch Downton Abbey. It's outstanding. I'm a nerd and I loved it. Beatbox Bandit, double feature bill after a couple of college tests. Megalopolis and The Substance. Oh yeah.
All right, you will enjoy at least
That's a
one
long
of those. Oh yeah, I promise you will enjoy at least one of those movies.
Yeah, and that'll be a very long afternoon for you.
Right.
Suns and Shadows. How many cups of coffee has Chris had? Let's get the pool going.
One, but I have one here and I have one in the refrigerator on standby, as I like a little iced coffee. So a couple more here and we're going to get started.
All right. Ken Bogus, member for 26 months. RIP, in peace, Maggie Smith. And Calcatraz just became a YouTube member. Welcome aboard.
And go to our members area. We post every week exclusive videos, Q&As from screenings, weird videos that we show on the show. And one last reminder from Lord Thoth.
Like, share, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. Sign up as a member. Join us on X, Discord, Rumble, and Instagram, and buy our merch. Shop.filmthreat.com.
In fact, definitely buy the merch. I am sporting our new Warriors-inspired Film Threat shirt. I've got the Krull one on standby here. I'm excited.
I've got the one on the screen.
We get iconic movie title logos, and turn them into our logo for shirts. Also, our election collection for a limited time, only on sale till November 5th. We have pins and shirts that are election themed. Also, our Drinker's Choice collection, all kinds of stuff, glasses, mugs for all your Film Threat shopping needs. So go to shop.filmthreat.com. And see, while I was doing that, you could have put the banner to run below. You know, like, I feel like sometimes you're watching the show, you're not participating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Moving on. One last thing. Alan, I told you not to show this.
Past, hang on, let's see. Breaking news that Chris Gore life is. Look at this. Alan Ing screenshotted me. It says, breaking news that Chris Gore life saved thanks to his recently purchased Batman Crocs. That's what's up right there. Okay. I'm going to retweet that. I want to retweet that. Oh,
what?
I'm glad you're safe.
Did I get myself into here? All right. Here's what we're gonna do. I bought these on Batman Day because they did a little Batman Day thing on Amazon. I was all excited, and I mean, look at it. Look at the shoe. I own this now. Here is the question: do I? The chat will decide. Do I return these because Amazon returns? I can get my full refund, or do I keep them? Keep them. Keep the Crocs, return the Crocs. That is the question. I will abide by the chat. So, Alan, what do you think? What is your vote?
My vote is return the Crocs, or at least donate them to Jeremy.
Okay, they're a size 11, so I don't know if he's a size 11. So the chat will decide this question. Return the Crocs, keep the Crocs. They are Bat Crocs. I do not own a pair. I put them on for about 30 seconds. I thought they were ugly as hell, and I was embarrassed. But I will listen to the chat. Okay. I will listen to the chat and we will report the results at the end of the show.
By the way, if you vote keep the Crocs, Chris will wear these at LA Con.
No, I will not. I will not wear the Crocs to LA Comic-Con. You know what? I will on a bet. If I lose a bet, I will wear them. All right. Let's pivot now to some of our first reviews. We will get to the Penguin momentarily, but also
what are we celebrating? It's my birthday, Bob. I'd like to celebrate my birthday with a few friends.
Trying to remember what movie that was.
The birthday month stuff keeps coming in, and I am over it. I'm over it. Okay. So just no more videos, no more memes. Next week is October. I already have decorated my place. If you look at my personal Twitter and Instagram, my place is all Halloweened out. So, all right, wait. A few more supers, and we're going right into our reviews. We've got 8 films to cover, and we have an interview with the Abruptio director at the end of the show. He is coming on the show. So here we go.
All right. From Krizik, member for 6 months. Keep the Crocs. They're ugly. But Jeremy Prime endorsed you already. No turning back now. Nandy O for $4.99. Damn it, guys. Already see that gay guy too much. Now got to see him here too.
I will never show a video of Jeremy again.
Let's see. Beerosaurus Rex, member for 25 months. What gadgets do the Batman Crocs have? What comes with the Batman Crocs?
They repel women. That is the superpower, is they repel women. So there you go. It does have some advantages there. So, all right. Let's get to our first review. There are films I have seen that Alan has not, and vice versa. So let's talk about, are you ready, Alan?
Let me see. I'm trying to figure out what the first movie is. And,
we'll just get the
they're not in order.
Come on. And they care deeply about Star Wars. I'll show you something else. This is
I'm sorry, but you didn't feel that was slightly racist in any way?
What?
That video making fun of Star Wars?
No.
You didn't get racist.
I'm trying to make a serious point. You're derailing me with things that aren't funny. Okay. You've been gored. Let's get the show going. Okay. Let's get no more videos.
She was big on defund the police. In Minnesota, she went out. Wait a minute. I'm talking now. If you don't mind, please. Does that sound familiar?
Don't lie.
She went out.
Do we really want that?
No. All right. Let's talk about the Penguin. Colin Farrell is you can't even see where Colin Farrell is in the makeup, but the Penguin is the spin-off series from the Batman movie, which is, I think, 2/3 of a good movie. The first third being amazing. We finally get to see the detective bat version of Batman, which I really enjoyed. I thought Robert Pattinson did a very good job. But it felt like 2/3 of a good movie. The third act off the rails. But the standout character was the Penguin from the series. And Colin Farrell is now reprising that role in a limited series for HBO Max or Max, whatever you call it. It takes up right after the events of the Batman. And episode 1 of this series is probably stands. I mean, we'll see as it goes on. Episode 1 of this series stands as one of the best first episodes of a new series I have seen in a long time. I mean, right up there with like Breaking Bad and whatnot. I was from the opening scene when we see the Penguin after the aftermath. He's trying to do a simple thing, going back to his club. encounters a rival. They have an exchange. We'll do no spoilers, by the way, because I realize a lot of people still have not seen this. And I don't know that we'll do week-to-week reviews, but we'll definitely revisit the Penguin before the end of the series for sure. But my God, the main reason this works is the character, Colin Farrell, as this character. So many layers, how he deals with people, his own moral ethics, even as a criminal, his relationship with his mother, his we see a glimpse of his deformed foot. We understand why he walks the way he does, which is gruesome. The way he is maybe a couple steps ahead in playing the game of chess with his other rivals. He's smarter than he's given credit for. He takes a young man under his wing, a character named Victor. I want to see who he was played by because hope
Renzi Feliz.
He was great. And you can tell they just set him up. Okay, he's not doing anything yet. This character is just set up. And also the character, it's basically Kristen Milioti as Sophia Falcone. She's not a girl boss. She is a woman, but she is, dare I say, batshit, having gotten out of Arkham. And they simply have a dinner, together, Oscob and Sophia Falcone. There's so much tension in these scenes, and that dinner scene, phenomenal. So even the side characters are so good in the series. Just fantastic. I'm so they're setting things up. Mark Strong is here as Carmine Falcone. So it's a crime drama. Also, you could kind of compare it to like a Scarface. He's rising through the ranks, taking out rivals, or at least the beginnings of that. And Gotham is in ruins. I am all in. Gotham is a character. It's dark, it's wet, it's overcast. The sun comes out once in the show, and that's even a tension moment when they're looking at the sunrise and the sun coming up. Let's look at the sun, and it's tense because you don't know what Oscob is up to and what he's thinking. I loved it. I'm all in. Really, Colin Farrell. If he's not up for an Emmy for this, it's crazy. But it also begs the question: make a Batman TV show. Make a Batman week to week. It could run. There hasn't been a Batman TV show since the original 1966 with Adam West, which I loved when the box set. I love Adam West. I've met him. R.I.P. Adam West. I went to his tribute in downtown Los Angeles. They lit up town hall in L.A. with the bat signal. There were so many speakers there, and I went to that wake. It was during LA Comic-Con years ago. I think back in 2017 or 26, way back, a long time ago. Anyways, I've been a long time fan. Make a show. Max knows how to do a show. Currently Rings of Power is playing. Incompetence. Agatha, incompetence. These are Agatha on Disney Plus proves Disney does not know how to make a show. The Amazon series, The Rings of Power, is just an embarrassment. And Max has proven over and over again, even for shows I wasn't excited about, House of the Dragon, drag me in. Yes, season 2, little disappointment, but still I'm all in. Make a Batman TV show. Make it he's a detective. Make it grounded. You can have, you've got, your villain of the week or conflict of the week in a season-long arc. It could go for years. You could bring in so many different elements to it, and if you have to recast. I was talking to Gary from Neurotic. He agrees. Like this is such an obvious play, and you can have the movie Batman, and you got the TV Batman. TV Batman more realistic, grounded. The movie Batman can be epic and what movies do in blockbusters. But I'm all in. For me, 9 out of 10 on the episode 1. We'll see how it progresses. Alan, what do you think about the Penguin?
Yeah, so when the first time we decided to review a television show was way back when Kenobi came out. And
right.
Since then, every series that we have had to review, I've had the same complaint. That first episode, the sole job of that first episode is to set the stage and get you excited to watch the second episode. And each of those shows, they failed to do that. This is the first show we've reviewed in a time, except for House of Dragon, that does that. It sets the stage, and it does it in a way. I just following the Penguin story, Ozcob's story. It takes a lot of shifts and turns, and these shifts and turns exist so to set the stage in terms of who the antagonists are, in terms of Sophia Falcone. And then you have Clancy Brown as Salvatore Maroni.
Clancy Brown. Oh, great scene.
But it sets the stage in terms of who is Ozcob, who's the Penguin to these people. And by the very end, I couldn't believe that this was just the first episode. I think it's 50 minutes long. But by the end, it takes a massive twist where you realize what the Penguin wants by the end of the series. And the odds set against him. You know the wrench in the plans being Sophia Falcone. But you know exactly what this series is doing and where it's going. And in a way, you kind of, I'm excited to see this through to the end, and hopefully it sticks the landing. But you can see that it is going to set up the next Batman movie. This is exactly what Warner Brothers needs to do, is have a great series and then get people excited about the movie coming out. And so all in this one episode, I'm excited. It's fun. Look, the look and feel of this movie, this episode of this show, dirty, gritty. You look at everything Marvel, Disney Plus, everything feels like it's a set that had just been built. You don't get these dark tones, and you certainly really watch the first episode of Agatha and tell me that you're excited about seeing the rest of it when you watch it. You're just not, because that first episode is just a connection back to WandaVision. And it just fails on that level. This is, I'm at least in for now. Let's put it that way.
Great. All right. Let's go to our chat comments here.
Yes, MJ UK 4884. There we go. For £2 British, buy this like I bought that laptop.
Alan, your internet keeps dropping.
It?
Yeah, it's just.
I'm just not seeing it. That's weird.
No, your voice drops.
Oh, yeah. It's
okay. It's okay. Just we'll see if I buy the Crocs. The chat will decide. Should we do the chat, the end of the poll now? Like, just how many votes do we have? Atomic Lori will let me know if we should end it.
By the way, the second half of that was regarding the laptop you were selling.
Yes, I know that. Buy the Crocs like I bought the laptop. I appreciate that. Here we go. Keep going.
Okay. And also from MJ UK 84 for 2. I heard Brie Larson was the Penguin's foot double.
That's true. That's true.
All right. From Rumble, BMO better for 2. Happy birthday, R&B.
Yes. Happy birthday, R&B.
Okay. And then Mob 19001. Penguin will give us The Sopranos in Gotham. Hopefully.
Yep. And we'll end the poll at the last comment. We'll end the poll. Your last chance to vote. Buy the Crocs, return the Crocs.
All right, Jimmy.
In like 1 minute.
All right, from Jimmy Francis. Does anyone know what kind of a show this is in terms of being planned as season 1? Is it following different villains in different seasons, or more like the Batman saga through the Penguin's perspective?
They have not said, but I listened to the official podcast. I think it's one season, one story.
Yeah,
And it
I
sets up the
believe.
Batman.
Yeah.
You know what? I hope they don't make the Batman 2. I hope they elect to make a Batman TV series. If they have to recast some of the characters, then do it.
They're not. They're already in production on the Batman 2. Brogu, Alan is absolutely right. All right. Well, there you go. The first episodes of Penguin set a great tone for the rest of the show. I saw the first episode of The Penguin and absolutely loved it.
Same. And I didn't believe it. I was like, I'll watch it whenever. And then as soon as I saw it, I listened to the podcast, and I can't wait to see. I'll watch it again, the first episode.
All right. Nicholas Gurr, 80s was filled with detective shows, maybe something like Mike Hammer.
Wait, Alan, what was the name of the person saying that, chat?
Nicholas Gurr.
Okay. Thanks. All right. What are the poll results? Put them. Let's see what the poll
294 votes. Cast for this.
What is it?
I don't know. Where is it?
The poll is ending.
What?
Let's get the results.
Okay. You act like I'm the one who's doing this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, do we have the poll results?
Should Chris keep the Batman Crocs?
No.
72% yes, 27% no. Poll complete. 332 votes.
Okay, so about a third of you watching live voted. I guess that's a sample pool. I will keep the Crocs per the chat. Now, we will have a bet, not this week. We will have a bet. Do I wear them to LA Comic-Con?
Which is next week.
We will do there will be next week during some live streams here. And we're doing, by the way, Alan and I are seeing Joker 2 on Monday. We will do a special late night live stream, early reaction Monday night. Okay, we're going to do versus as usual. Then we will do Monday night, late night reaction to Joker 2. You know, we won't be long, but we'll do a live stream. And then maybe that's when we'll make the bet. So cool. All right, let's go to our next review, Vindicating Trump, which is a film I have not seen.
Yes, let's
So let's get that up here.
All right. So
Alan, tell me about Vindicating Trump.
All right. So Vindicating Trump is the newest documentary from Dinesh D'Souza. He has in the past put out other documentaries, basically supporting the conservative cause. And this is certainly one of those. The movie opens in thriller-like fashion. Donald Trump descends the golden escalator and announces him running for president in the 2016 election. This announcement sparks the DNC war room to figure out how they're going to take this guy down. They involve not only the DNC, but the unions, some maybe Illuminati type actors. And this whole movie, and so they plan. They talk about how horrible this guy is, and then and the tactics they're going to use to bring him down. And then it jumps to the actual documentary where Dinesh interviews Alina Habba, Laura Trump, and Donald Trump himself. And the movie basically is it takes a look at how the mainstream media has been portraying Donald Trump. They bring up often they're good people on both sides. Him making fun of a disabled journalist. They just kind of go down all these what they claim are lies about Donald Trump, and then refute them, and then talk about just how the DNC and how these other forces are out there to basically lie and misrepresent him, and then they go through and kind of debunk all those things. I'll just say this. this is a fairly one-sided doc, as you'd expect. It's very pro-Trump. It's absolutely pro-Trump, but Trump's in it. And so, you know, I would venture to guess that people know how I feel about Donald Trump. And so I'm just trying to come at it from a critic's perspective. You know, I do like having facts placed in front of me on both sides and allowing myself to come up with my own conclusions. I think what I like about this one is just the fact that, you know, look, you turn on the television, you listen to politicians, everyone lies to you. Every single one lies to you. Whether you're on the right or the left, you know that that you're not being given the right picture. This movie at least says, hey, I'm going to show you the full clips of Donald Trump in context so that you can make a decision as to whether you like the guy or don't like the guy. But at the same time, it is very one-sided. So in the end, I feel like this movie more or less preaches to the choir more than it does trying to bring people to the other side, from the other side, to change minds. If anything, this is trying to say to the independent voter out there who hasn't made a decision, hey, why don't you reconsider, look at these facts, and then make a decision from there. But at the same time, we are so divided, and this election is incredibly divided to the point where we always see people on the other side as either stupid morons or from the left to the right as fascists, misogynists, homophobes, and all that stuff. So this is not going to change the narrative at all, but if anything, it'll just present the facts and allow you to decide from a very biased standpoint.
Well, I have not seen the movie, but by the way, I just noticed it's playing in theaters even near me. So it is out in limited release. So
I mean, I'll say this from our box office insider. Am I Racist gave a lot of theaters the cojones to put this movie in their theaters.
Well, look, I just want balance. I want things to be portrayed in media in a realistic and truthful light. Unfortunately, the media is so divided, and we've seen it. Look, I've covered indie film for almost 40 years. I remember seeing documentaries that sought the truth. And now, in the last decade, docs are just based on their funding resources are far left or far the other direction, far right. I hate using
you can say
right
that.
is even like people use that as an insult. I'm sick of the division. Is there a filmmaker that just say, hey, I don't know what I'm going to think. Let me seek things out. But I feel like there's our media, the mainstream media, is pure propaganda now. I didn't feel it was before, or maybe it always was, but they hit it better. But I want some balance. So I applaud this coming out. I may, in fact, go to the theater and check it out. But I just want some balance. And I feel the rhetoric coming from previously respected sources is certainly amping up the all the division in the country, and I'm not about it. And I don't like when I see my friends do it. I see friends so far one way, and come on. Here's what I want. I want our politicians focused on solving problems. That is your job. Fix the roads, tax me as little as possible, protect this country, protect our interests abroad without, going to war over it. And I feel that more and more, I kind of feel our agencies, they've lost the trust. I hear things, I don't believe it anymore. So I like balance. I will check out this movie then. You recommend it?
Yeah, I do. I give it a bare recommendation. Like I said, it's very one-sided. The cringiest moments in this movie are these dramatizations. Because they go through, it's like, okay, it's like a Saturday Night Live for the right. Let's put it that way. These little sketches they have. And it's this movie is very up to date. In fact, it includes various events, such as one that occurred in Pennsylvania, not a little over a month ago.
All right. I think there's a review on the site as well, but
There is, yes.
You recommend the movie, Alan.
I do. I look, whether you're right or left, I always recommend movies that present the other side, and you can agree with it or not agree with it to you, but you should at least be fully informed. And in the review, I say that I would much rather have a fully informed voter than a voter that has everything they think fed to them by the media.
Let's go to your chat comments and questions here, starting with Supers.
All right. The Beast 808, member for 10 months. Aloha, Alan and Aloha brothers, Alan and Frank. Really appreciate y'all commitment to entertainment and being entertaining. Always remain blessed. Reading against this green background is such a struggle.
So, thank you, The Beast 808. I saw you in G&G chat too. I saw you there.
John Thomas for 5. Chris, you bailed the other day before Gary saw my chat. So asking again, were there any pagers going boom in Hollyweird?
Not that I'm aware. I know about the pager story. I don't know about pagers going off in LA.
Yeah. And the actual question is, are there still pagers in LA?
Right.
Jose Sarango, Alan spitting facts today. He also says, so Am I Racist is better than. Yes. I had a lot more fun with Am I Racist? I laughed. Seed, I'm guessing the people who need to see this film will absolutely not go see it. Yep.
That is correct.
Benjamin, I want a Trump popcorn bucket. Okay. Mark Clement, bring back the far center.
Yeah, that's where I'm the far. Look, I think the right has some very good ideas. I like the commitment to common sense. The left has good ideas too, but I'm not about censorship. I'm not about spreading false narratives. I'm not about manipulating people. And the American people have become the most propagandized population. And it's sad to see it, where I hear my friends just repeating things I know they heard on the news, or just reacting to a headline instead of reading or researching. So there you go.
Let's see. Chris is a true Gen Xer,
says Jose Sarango. Thank you for that.
Again. And Spaceman, Alan, you mean the assassination attempt? Are you afraid to say it out loud? No, I just don't want to get us demonetized. That's all.
Yeah. Well, we'll just get.
And I just did right there.
So there you go. All right, let's switch to another documentary, and I don't know if you've seen this one, Alan.
I don't know. Oh, yes, I have.
So let's switch. We are going to pivot. We have a lot of movies to review. And this film is from the new DC company that James Gunn is head of. It's Super/Man, the Christopher Reeve story. This is a documentary about the real life Christopher Reeve, who played Superman in 1978. That superhero movie changed everything.
Mm-hmm.
Finally, but through Richard Donner, the director, cast a 24-year-old Christopher Reeve who was taking acting lessons. He was very serious-minded and went off to England to do a casting audition and got cast as Superman. And then, of course, we know about he played in the 4 Superman movies. He tried to break out, appearing in other films, other very good films, like Somewhere in Time. We saw he met his wife on the set of the first Superman movie at a very young age. They never married, but they had kids together. They ended up separating, and he got married to another woman he met. So we see his personal life, and much of the story is told through VHS footage, personal footage behind the scenes of all his movies. And they even show screen test, the famous screen test of him as Superman. He's acting against different Lois Lanes. His armpits are sweating And he looks very slight. He's not like buff.
He's not bulked up.
He's not bulked up yet. But I saw behind the scenes I've never seen before. I thought I knew everything about that movie. So amazing. He just seems he was like just wanted to act and took it. He took taking on the role of Superman so serious. But the story is told because obviously Christopher Reeve's no longer alive, but the story is told through his children. In a freak accident on a horse, he broke his neck, literally broke his neck to the point that his head was not connected.
Yeah.
Right. Which injured his spine. He was paralyzed from the neck down. He needed help to breathe. I mean, it's so tragic. And it goes through his depression. Dude, look, I brought a handkerchief to the theater and I was weeping during parts of the movie. It is so heart-wrenching. His wife stuck by him, his kids stuck by him, and Robin Williams, we learn about his friendship with Robin Williams. Somehow he was able, a year later after the accident, to go to the Academy Awards and speak. And he founded an organization to fund research that would help people who are paralyzed to get, and it is making strides. So they go into that. This is such an amazing documentary. So heartfelt. I loved it. Can't praise it enough. Alan, what did you think?
Yeah, I loved it too. I think the part of the story that hit me the most was his friendship with Robin Williams.
Yeah.
They were roommates in Juilliard and lifelong close friends ever since then. And I remember someone actually saying that if Christopher Reeve was still alive, Robin Williams would still be alive.
Yeah.
That's how close their friendship was. And, he is such a good man, this guy. I don't know, maybe the documentary is painting him, as this saint, but I certainly got that feeling that this man was a saint. And not because he was Superman, but because it's just how he treated people. The fact that he was always interested in their stories. And they make the comment that him and Robin are basically counter to each other. Robin is frenetic. Christopher is cool and collected. And his heart was always to make the world a better place. And if you can get past all the DNC convention footage, there was a time where, the note I have here is, he was the good Democrat. The other thing is the film itself. There's this computer model of Christopher Reeves as Superman that is shown throughout the entire film. And it really struck me because when the accident happened and when they were showing the effects of the spinal cord injury, all of a sudden kryptonite comes out through this model, this computer model. Yeah. I'm going, how effective is that? I mean, really, this was incredible. Yeah. I really like this movie. It's, we need more good people in this world.
It's inspiring. It was so inspiring. And like the commitment that his wife had, the words that kept him alive, that love that they shared, and how they struggled. Yeah, and he had a young son with
3 years old when it happened.
And it's just, oh my God. And the kids look like him, right? They really do look like Christopher Reeve. So to see them tell parts of his story. So the story is kind of told through his kids, but there's so much footage, so many interviews with him, and really in a vulnerable way showing him his medical journey is just, my God, this movie is an inspiration. And that movie was a milestone for what a comic book movie, if you take it seriously. And Christopher Reeve took it serious. He took creating this character of Superman so seriously. It meant so much to him.
Yeah, they go into detail as to how to make Superman fly and look authentic.
Yeah, look real.
And it was all in the eyes. It was all in his facial expressions when he would fly. That, I mean, I remember watching this movie for the first time, Superman. Just the overwhelming joy I had that Superman is real, that Superman can actually fly, and that you can actually make a comic book movie that's not the 60s Batman movie.
And even though some of the effects in that 1978 Superman are kind of cheesy, the models and stuff, you don't care. This is what I say. It's all about character.
Yeah.
He brought Superman to life. And to see this film as a tribute, it also talks about the work his organization is doing. It doesn't really feel too much like a commercial, but it's part of his life, a big part of his life. They're fundraising and whatnot. So it is now going in wide release. So I saw early screening. It's now in wide release. Do not miss this, whether you're a fan of the Superman movie or whatnot. Just it's just phenomenal. And bring tissues. You will probably tear up at some point. I know Alan did, broken tears the whole time, right?
Yeah, bawling like a baby.
All right, that's good. I did well up in tears. I mean, I sat there. Then the credits are rolling. I take my hoodie and I put it like this. I'm just sitting there, like I'm just gonna
sobbing,
watch the credits. So yeah, no, look, I'm
everyone walking by saying, "This poor homeless man."
But I'm a softie. So if there's something in a movie like that, especially about relationships and whatnot, I mean, it's a tragic and yet beautiful and inspiring story. Don't miss this movie.
Yeah. I remember watching that Oscar moment live. And
Me
I
too.
remember welling up and feeling so emotional when that happened.
I did. I've never missed an Oscars from when I was a kid. And yeah, that was, oh God.
Back when the Oscars really meant.
Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see. Let's go to your comments and questions here.
All right. The Brujo for 5 Australian. Batman Crocs demand Batman socks.
I have so many pairs of Batman socks. What I will do, I will buy 2 pairs. I put one in storage, then I wear one. When those wear out, I got a backup.
Whatever this bet is, you better lose it. That's all I'm saying.
I have lots of Batman socks, and now I have a pair of Batman Crocs.
I think you just need to accept the fact that you're wearing these to LA Comic-Con.
Yes. No, we'll see. We're going to make a bet. We will make it interesting.
All right. Let's see. Chet's mom 4. But did Christopher Reeves wear Superman Crocs?
I don't know. I don't know. That movie was a big deal. I saw it in, I think I was in junior high. That movie was huge. Hey, Chet's mom.
Yeah, everyone's talking about me waxing myself and stuff in the chat. Okay. 3412 Studios. It seemed like a genuinely good guy. Yeah.
You see that.
Suns and Shadows. James Gunn keeps his mouth shut, puts out feel-good movies, and puts the spotlight on Superman, honors Christopher Reeves. This makes me want to give the new movie a real chance.
I think Gunn understands the kind of Superman that needs to exist in modern times. I have heard about the story, and it sounds good.
Okay. Patrick Lemay. Superman does not get good enough credit for breaking the cynicisms of the 70s. It was very optimistic and American during a time when people were cynical and down on the country. Yep.
Yeah.
Not too long after Watergate.
Star Wars came out a year later. Superman came out. Optimism returned. We could use a little optimism today.
All right. The Dark Knight Returns. Let me do this. The Dark Knight Returns. My wife and I watched it this past weekend. It was great. They don't make them like Reeve anymore.
Yep.
And ADL's 24. I do love the nod Snyder made to Reeve in Man of Steel with Cavill's face when Cavill's face morphs into Reeves for a moment, and when he's fighting the spider. When he's fighting the spider. Adrian Curry, hey, your Batman Crocs are not only acceptable, they're awesome, and Gary is too gay to know it.
Hey, Adrian, good to hear from you. I guess I'm wearing the Crocs, so there you go.
Yeah.
Here's what it is.
Let's see. Benjamin for 5. Why did South Park go at Reeves so hard? Did he actually push for stem cells from babies, or was that just a joke? I'm pretty sure it was the stem cells that
yeah. But that's part of the research. I look, go see the doc. But Benjamin, thank you for that support.
Just saying, we learned a lot about stem cells, and you don't need to get them from babies.
We've got a lot of movies to review, some good, some not so good. So let's get to another film review. I'll tell you about this movie here. Ready, Alan?
Almost. There we go.
All right. Let's talk about Azrael, which is a horror film opening this weekend in theaters, also coming to Shudder. It's about a young woman in a world where the rapture has taken place. So there are ravagers of people kind of living in a dystopian world that looks like The Walking Dead. The rapture has taken place, so the population is diminished, but there are bizarre creatures hiding in the night. And it's not really explained exactly what these demons are. Are they zombies? They're just sort of these covered in mud, blackened creatures that will devour people. They're effectively zombies. And we follow the survival story of a young woman just trying to not get eaten by these creatures and not get taken captive by ravagers, just trying to survive in sort of haphazardly, made shelters. There is no dialogue in this film. There doesn't really need to be. This woman does everything she can to survive. She's being hunted. She's captured. She escapes. It's got that, that cat and mouse game with lots of evildoers. It comes to a head with a horrifying Act 3 and kind of a bizarre ending that I won't get into. There's only one person that speaks some dialogue, and it's in French. Okay, which is weird, but nobody speaks. It's a fine tension thriller that is like Walking Dead, but with a new form of zombies. I like the idea that no one talks in the film, but I can't give it a strong recommend. It gets a bare recommend if you're looking for something new horror. I give it a 6 out of 10. The lead actress is actually very good. It's Samara Weaving, I assume is Hugo Weaving's daughter. She's very good in the film, but the rest of the cast, I mean, nobody talks. So if you like Walking Dead, this is like a Walking Dead episode with no dialogue, with a bizarre religious themed ending, because we learn at the beginning this is post the rapture. So a bare recommend from me. It's not awful. It's just not anything new or whatnot. But I do think I like that it's 85 minutes. So quick in and out. So if you're looking for something at the theater, you've seen everything. Hey, roll the dice. I look, I love horror films. So I saw this in a theater. I also saw Paranormal Activity as part of Blumfest, which was great. Right here, I've got the poster for Blumfest. I love horror films. So, and Blumhouse does a great job. One of the actors from Paranormal Activity showed up to the screening I was at. I took some video. It's on our members only. But this is the season for horror, and this is a very serviceable, good horror film. Not great.
So they added the rapture as part of the backstory of this. Does that play out well, or is it just?
Yes, it actually does play out. Just something in the end that would be a spoiler, and I'm not going to do it. But the setup is this is a post-rapture world. So it's like, imagine the Walking Dead world. That's what this is.
Would it be safe to say that maybe the Bible spoiled it already?
That's true. Get your spoilers in the Bible.
In the Bible.
Let's go to some chat comments and questions right now.
All right. The Garth Knight returns. The Inkshire is coming. Don't think that worked. Rockefeller Plaza. It's the Rapture, Sheila. The Rapture. The Garth Knight returns again. After the Rapture, everyone will wear Crocs by the Holy Order of the Ing. Pilgrim Media for 2. Do you guys collect movie posters? Do you collect movie posters?
I do, yes. I do.
I don't, because I have nowhere to put them, and I don't like hanging them up. Hey, it's me in HD. Whoa, a movie with dialogue in 2024? Bold. Or I think a movie without dialogue.
Without dialogue, yeah.
Okay. Critique Corner. Samara is Hugo Weaving's niece.
Oh, good to know. She's very good.
Yes. Wesley, 1924. Kind of like Quiet Place?
Yes. If it's got Quiet Place vibes, Quiet Place is better. But it's fine. Not great, not bad, just okay. So let's pivot to a movie that Alan and I have both seen. Megalopolis. We need to talk Megalopolis, Alan. We need to talk Megalopolis.
I wish everyone to have a very moist day.
Why would you say that? Let's talk about Megalopolis. It's here. This is Francis Ford Coppola's Folly. And could you unstar that, Alan?
Did I? No, I didn't unstar anything.
All right. Let me start over. See, I try to do these things so we have like a clean, like I'm doing a review. So let's do the review.
Yeah. So let me just say probably the gayest thing about me is I love musicals.
Let's talk about Megalopolis. This is Francis Ford Coppola's, well, he describes it as a science fiction film. Not quite sure about that. This is what you would call Francis Ford Coppola's $100 million folly. It's his magnum opus, the movie he has thought about making since the 1980s. And it focuses on a designer played by Adam Driver, who is trying to imagine a world and how to create civilization to bring it to its penultimate height. And it imagines a world in which the Roman Empire never fell, but continued into modern times. So people have Roman haircuts. Some people wear robes. There's some kind of Roman themed clothing, architecture, fashion, whatnot. It's very all Roman inspired, as if Rome from the past came into the present modern times. It features a cast where we have the mayor, a whole bunch of Giancarlo Esposito is the mayor, Franklin, John Voight plays another character in this. Aubrey Plaza plays, she's listed as actress, and Adam Driver's character is actor. Natalie Emanuel is in it, and Shia LaBeouf rounds out the cast with Chloe Fineman. An amazing cast. Dustin Hoffman is in this. I mean, he gathered together some really amazing actors to make a complete piece of like incoherent garbage. That doesn't mean it does not have its moments, but that there is any story to be told in this, it's beyond me. I never felt, and there are a lot of laughs in this movie, and they're all unintentional. So many laughs and gaffes. I was shaking my head, saying, what am I doing watching this film? It's nearly 3 hours. It's a mess. There are a couple moments. There's a moment in the middle of the movie where the lights come on and a human walks in front of the screen and asks a question that happened at my screening. And then the screen goes smaller and it's like a little video essay about civilization and how can we progress as a society. Like, I like that Coppola is asking questions about why do we choose to live like this? Why can't we create a better society? There are really great questions the movie asks, but not in a way that's even interesting. It's frustrating to see a master of someone who has made arguably one of the greatest American movies ever made, The Godfather and The Godfather 2. Like, just create this mess. And people don't believe it. It's like everyone I know who's seen it thinks it's a mess, and it's just god awful. And I walked out. I don't know what I'm supposed to think about this. I mean, the video essay part is kind of interesting, but wow, this thing, there's what the characters, I mean, things that should be dramatic moments get bursts of laughter. There are violent moments in the film, a couple, and it's just embarrassing laughter. I mean, here's the guy that created the scene with the horse head in the producer's bed. I mean, that's a horrific scene. It's very dramatic. No one laughs during that scene. All the acts of violence in this are laughable. So I don't know. It's really a curiosity, because every time I tell someone how awful this movie is, they don't believe me. And I'm like, no, believe me. Go see it for yourself. So I'm really curious. I don't know what you think, Alan. What did you think of Megalopolis?
Yeah, well, you said everyone you talked to said it was a mess and they didn't understand it. Everyone I've talked to about this appreciates the story behind it. And I'll say this, I definitely liked it better than you. And I think I got what you didn't get in it.
What's that?
Okay, so here's the thing. I think you got a few things wrong. One is the movie opens with a title page. I'll just say that. That says Megalopolis, an American fable.
Right.
That's what the movie is. It's a fable. When you say that the Roman Empire never went away, no. What this movie attempts to say is that the Roman Empire, the fall of the Roman Empire, seems to be cyclical, and it happens at every turn of the century. And that movie is essentially likening America, and America is going down to the fall of the Roman Empire. There are certain players that played to the fall that exist today in American politics and American society.
Right.
You can kind of see it there. And you know, if he's been, I think it's true that he's been writing this since the 80s, because you know, you can take the players and the groups in this movie and liken them to this party, that party, these people, this movement. There's certainly things there that you could say, is this Trump? Is this the Democrats? Is this the Republicans? But at the same time, he's not going that on the nose by saying, okay, these guys represent conservatives. These guys represent, because I think if you look at the movie and you compare it to today, the players are in the wrong positions today. I think modern politics has changed so much that the traditional roles you would apply in this movie have switched around. That said, and I'll say this: the movie plays out like a surrealist play. Meaning,
right.
You're not going to get any authentic acting. You're not going to get, no one in this movie is doing method. The acting is that of, I would say, a Greek play. You know, in terms of the way dialogue is delivered, in the way dialogue is written. You know, words are repeated over and over again to make it. So this is very much a surrealistic story being told. Let's see. I call this. I felt like this is Francis Ford Coppola. It's a thought study from Francis Ford Coppola. He's been thinking about the direction that society has been going, and this is decades of journaling comes to this. And I think that's the problem with the movie, is because me watching it and me being kind of interested in politics, being very interested in politics and how this country has evolved over time. I get a lot of what he's trying to say here. At the same time, I felt like I was barely holding on to the movie and to the story. I allowed myself to let go for a moment, I'd be completely lost, and that happened at the end of the movie. There's this thing, there's this substance that Adam Driver's character wants to make the world out of, and the substance, it just what? And again, you're just barely grasping on to this story. I think I appreciate this movie as someone who likes a movie that makes you think. And that is not telling a story in a traditional way, and is trying to say something about current culture. I appreciate this movie. That said, I'd probably never see this movie ever again.
Yeah, well, you got more out of it than I did. I will say I like the video essay part that's kind of in the middle of the movie where did they bring the lights on at your screening?
No.
So at my screening, they brought up the lights. Someone walked out, a person. So it became like a live event. And then it went to a smaller box on the big screen. It was a small box and did a little video essay. I'm not saying that the movie's not filled with ideas, but there are better. Oppenheimer is a better way because there is a story in that we follow the man Oppenheimer, and there are lots of ideas in that and commentary about what scientists unleashed and how that changed the world. To change geopolitics, but it was through a story. The story here is so muddled, and you have to. Did you see it with a crowd?
There were 10 people in my crowd.
Okay, my theater was 100% full. I was lucky to get a seat, right? 100% full. People were laughing. It was embarrassing, and parts of the movie they all looked like they were shot on a green screen. With really kind of cheap effects.
Yeah, it's shot in Atlanta, by the way, in the studios there.
I mean, yes, there are interesting ideas about civilizations, why empires fall, but can you wrap it in a story that would actually better express those ideas? Coppola can do that. Even the first line, the first words in The Godfather, I believe in America. I believe in America. And it's an immigrant talking about his belief in this country and the opportunity that he's good. Coppola is proven very good at wrapping themes in a story. The story here is incoherence. And look, I get it. It's like a modern fable. They bring Rome to Roman.
I mean, the themes are there. Today, the opening chapter is about debt and how society is spending more money than it has, and then it gets into this idea of how we as a civilization are casting aside our past, looking toward the future while unburdening ourselves with the past. He hits on these themes that are very relevant. The problem is I don't think Francis Ford Coppola could rein himself in. I think he went on kind of an ayahuasca trip and then wrote this script, and it really needed to be A, whittled down, and B, made much more grounded than it was. There's this idea of artists and time that I get why it's there. I just not seeing the connection with the entire story. The idea being artists are able to stop time. And that's a comment on art. But what really does that impact have on this story? And I felt like he's just rambling about his thoughts about culture and society. And so again, I appreciate it, but I would never see this movie again.
I mean, I don't know. And like most people I talked to said, I don't know what to think about this.
Yeah, it's not for everybody. It's definitely not for everybody. I would not casually tell people that you need to see this movie, but there are people I know who I think would enjoy this movie.
Well, I'm not one of them. I can't recommend it. If you're going to see it, it's for curious. It's because you're curious.
Yeah. And if that's true, don't see it in IMAX. I don't think you really need to see it in IMAX.
But for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go to your comments.
All right.
I'll be right back, Alan.
Sure.
Go
yeah,
through
from
those.
Berg Flicka for 10. Really appreciate your reviews and advance notice of all the good movies. Thanks. Oh, you're certainly welcome. We got plenty today. Jimmy X Drummer for 25 PLN. I think it's, yeah, I'm not even gonna guess. Chris, actually this is for Chris, so I'm gonna hold on to that one. Agent 5700 sounds like a 1970s movie script. An art film kind of movie script. Nick for 199. Was it shot in IMAX? I'm seeing it regardless. It was shot in IMAX. I believe it was made for IMAX, and I'm saying you don't really need to see it in IMAX. Big Mar for 499. Is this the gayest review ever? Thomas Pickett for 5. There is a really great video on YouTube on Cycles of Empires called Principles of Dealing with the Changing World Order by Ray Dalio. All right. We'll have to check that out. Jay Nemo for 499. Is the take on society from a perspective of an everyman or from a Hollywood ivory tower? Yeah, the perspective is from Adam Driver's character, whose name is Caesar, oddly enough. And his whole idea is that society and culture can evolve, but you have knowledge of what you had in the past to evolve for the future, while everyone else is trying to live for today and the now. So we are making decisions for the now that will have effects on the future if you solely focus on that. Basically talking about selfishness. All right. Thomas Pickett for 2. All empires end in debt. The USA, $30 trillion in debt. Yeah.
35 trillion.
35 trillion.
Did you unstar these as you were doing them?
Might have. Yeah.
No, you did not.
No, I did. Yeah. I did. In fact, here's one for you. Chris Bijos is a Polish name for hunter stew. The most Polish dish ever. You need to try it.
Well, I like pierogies, so there you go.
Right.
Did you get through all of these?
I've not done these. I've not done these.
Okay. Go ahead.
MJ UK 84. Please comment on the level of boobage in the film. Aubrey Plaza is in a C390.
I did like that.
The Nerd Far Away. Whoa, did he just say this is garbage? Bummer. I want to see it. I would say give it a shot. Give it a shot. See it in matinee. Don't see it in IMAX if you want to save money. Brock Samsonite. So this isn't a modern tale on the old German silent back and forth black and white film Metropolis.
No.
Benjamin, just get wrecked off Coppola wine before you see it.
That's how he financed it.
Yeah.
Sold off part of his wine business.
Bill W., but does Megalopolis make you think about its ideas afterwards? Quite frankly, no.
Yeah, it's weird. The movie is so bad that all the good ideas and good parts of it are just like,
I mean, a lot of what I was thinking through the movie was, okay, this represents this. This represents that. This is interesting. That's interesting. And when the movie was over, didn't think about any of those questions at all.
Nope.
Darth Yeager, Adam Driver can't catch a break, it seems. Well, that's the roles he chooses.
Yep.
Let's be real.
All right, let's pivot to our next review. A film I think Alan and I both liked.
Oh, yes. Okay. I'll get there. There you go.
Let's talk about Saturday Night. This is a film about, it's about Lorne Michaels. And it's about the airing of the first episode of Saturday Night, which then became to be known as Saturday Night Live. This movie is directed by Jason Reitman. It takes place 90 minutes before the first episode goes live. It features young actors that play the young cast: Chevy Chase, Dan Aykroyd, Garrett Morris, Jane Curtin, just all your favorites from the first season, the first episode of SNL. Lorne Michaels is the lead character, and it is a frenetic, energy-filled, where the camera is following Lorne Michaels, and that will follow Lorne Michaels, then it'll follow another character. The camera's always moving, and it really captures that intensity of a show about to go live in front of a national audience right before it goes. And the big conflict, will they run it live or they just run the tape and not do the show? So I'm not sure how much of this is real. We see a young John Belushi who has not signed his contract. So I'm actually not sure how many of the storylines are real or from anecdotes or whatever. I'm sure that most of this is fictionalized and then based on some things. In fact, I know for a fact that the light falling and almost hurting someone, that did happen. That did happen before the first episode. So that is actually based in fact. Everything else I actually do not know. But I know some of the lore and stories about SNL because I have watched this from the beginning. I was a little kid and I used to try to stay up late on Saturdays. I mean, I was a little kid to watch this show. It was legendary. It was, did you see it? The commercial parodies, hilarious. Things like Mr. Bill, you know. And I know I watched SNL from the beginning and then probably stopped around 2016, 2017 when it became not funny. But previous to that, never missed SNL. And this is so much energy, so fun. And the actor who plays a young Lorne Michaels, Gabriel LaBelle from the Fabelmans, so good. Because everyone is young and fresh-faced. Why would you give a bunch of kids in their 20s a national platform to do sketch comedy is a crazy idea. And they were allowed so much freedom. There's so many threads and conflicts that all pay off. There's the head writer is in a big conflict with the woman who's the censor, rewriting the script at the last minute. I love this film. Thought it was amazing. Might be one of Jason Reitman's best films. The last Ghostbusters was okay. Afterlife. But I really enjoyed this. I'll probably see it again. Alan, what did you think of Saturday Night?
Yeah, I think you liked it better than I did. But I did like it. I'll be honest. The first half of the movie I was getting worried. The first half of the movie I was not really into. And I'll tell you why. It's set up basically like, you kind of walk in. It's about a comedy show. It feels like it's a sketch of Saturday Night Live, of behind the scenes of Saturday Night Live. So, like you, I watched Saturday Night Live from the beginning as a kid. Most of the time, I watched it from 11:30 to midnight, and then I fell asleep. But I was there for like the Muppets, for Mr. Bill. Those were the stuff I really liked. And so I'm very familiar with the original cast of Saturday Night Live. And I've definitely seen them in all their movies. I've seen the original cast clips over and over again. So I'm very familiar. And when the movie opens and you're introduced to the cast, they all felt like caricatures of themselves. It didn't feel authentic to me. Like, is that really Gilda Radner? Is that how they're going to portray Gilda Radner? Is that how they're going to portray Chase and Dan Aykroyd and John Belushi? And part of me was like, I get this is before the first episode, but is this really what it's like? And then you even brought it up. I don't know how much of this movie is real and how much of it is dramatized. I don't know that people really hated Jim Henson like they did in this movie. I
know a lot. I know a lot about the SNL lore, and I'll say a lot of it is accurate. John Belushi, the way he acted. Chevy Chase was an a-hole.
Yeah, but
he
the
was a
thing is that
womanizing a-hole, and he only was on the first season of SNL. I mean, no one liked Chevy Chase. Okay.
yeah, and you, yeah, I mean, I get the themes are there. I'm
Right.
just not sure that the performances reflect that.
Right.
Like I was really on the fence as to whether Ella Hunt did Gilda Radner well. And so this is me in the first half of the movie feeling like, where are we going? What is happening? Are these really the people? Am I judging this too harshly right now? But I will say at the second half, when the true plot kicks in for this show, that's when I was in. Because in the second half, what's going on, and you don't really realize it until the second half, but what's happening is the executives want Lorne Michaels to fail. Because because they're in a contract dispute with Johnny Carson, and that Saturday Night Live is a threat saying that unless we pay you less, we're not going to give you Saturday night to do your show. We're going to give it to these kids, and they wanted to use the show as kind of leverage.
Yeah.
And the way things were going is that this whole show, the 90 minutes leading up to the actual show, was in utter chaos. The script hadn't been finalized. Jim Henson hadn't gotten his script. There was 3 hours of show on the board. You had Billy Crystal in the background wondering if he's going to get on the show. And then when Willem Dafoe shows up and applies maximum pressure, does this movie really take off? And now you're rooting for Lorne Michaels.
Right.
And I got to give it to Gabriel LaBelle. The picture here shows Lorne Michaels carrying the entire show. That's the theme of this movie. Lorne Michaels is carrying this entire show. And does he have the fortitude to be able to pull it off? And I don't want to spoil the ending, so you can figure out.
But there's so many threads, everything pays off. There's even a thread about a Polaroid camera. They're like, hey, can you work this Polaroid camera into a sketch and do a commercial? And he's like, no, but that pays off. And there's a really great moment, I won't spoil it, but where the question is, what is the show? Yeah. And he doesn't know what the show is. I don't know what the show is. We haven't done it yet. I don't know. And then you finally hear the explanation. It's so great. It's so poetic, and it made me fall in love with SNL again. I'm still not going to watch it this weekend, but it made me appreciate even more old episodes. And the show has been this season of SNL, 50 years.
Yeah,
will be 50 years of a show of this type that's lasted that long. Really is an achievement. Despite that it's fallen on. Not so great times now.
But the thing is that first cast, including Bill Murray, it was so counterculture.
Yes.
It has never been this level of counterculture since this cast went away. And that's the one thing I miss from Saturday Night Live now, because it just feels like, they're doing the exact same thing, the exact thing that this cast didn't want to do. And that was to play the sponsors and to play the network executives. They want to do their own show, and that's what we got. Well, and we don't get that anymore with Saturday Night Live.
I'd still love to see a documentary. I'm sure there's a lot of BTS stuff you could find, but what I do love about this, the dramatization, the lore, it all really works. And I don't know, I felt like energy. I mean, look, I did a live show for years with Attack of the Show. And that kind of energy before you go live, there's nothing like it. There's nothing like it. And when that hour is done, it's done. The mistakes are in it. That thing didn't get a big laugh. That worked. We didn't think it would work. Like that energy, it captured that energy. And I love the ticking clock. It tells you 90 minutes. It keeps checking in about every 10 minutes.
It's almost real time, the movie.
Yeah. So, and the way the camera moves, there's a lot of roving shots, one shot, not a lot of cutting. It just was. So I loved it. One of my favorites might be one of my favorites of the year. If you love SNL, what it was, and you're right. SNL was in its beginning counterculture. Now it's become something else. But in its early stages, it was awesome and it was beautiful to see. And I think it really captured that energy, that spirit. So I recommend it. You recommend it?
I do recommend it. But, just be warned, just get through that first half and then it'll really take off from there.
Let's go to your comments and questions.
All right. From Chelsea M, the original cast was awesome. Absolutely. I do love the way they basically Garrett Morris's storyline was very interesting.
They had a storyline for everybody and it all paid off.
Yeah. Well, Lorraine Newman, her storyline was, how fast can I change my clothes?
And it was funny. It paid off.
Yeah, she could change it fast. Hey, it's me in HD. Were the depictions of the original cast well done? I mean, that's my point is...
Yeah, it was mixed. Mixed, I would say.
Very mixed.
Yeah.
Bill S. Preston, Esquire. A long time ago... Okay, a long time... Okay, oh my God. I long ago concluded that Lorne Michaels doesn't know what funny is, and his success is from the talented people who pulled around him. Yes.
Wait, let me say this. Chet's mom 4. Mr. Bill. Oh
no. Right. Oh, look, Bill Lorne Michaels was going to do Weekend Update in that first episode. Let's just put it that way. Knee pain. I remember every weekend watching Saturday Night Live, especially when I was young and we didn't have cable. And this was a rare program we could enjoy.
It was okay. You ready for this? In Detroit, where I grew up, they ran reruns of Flash Gordon, the serial. So I would watch Flash Gordon at 11:30. SNL came on, and I would watch that. But it was like I remember putting water on my face to stay awake. I mean, I'm talking about like I'm a little kid. So, and yeah.
I remember there was a script book of Saturday Night Live, the first cast, and it had the Shimmer sketch in it, and I actually performed that Shimmer sketch in 5th grade in elementary school. Baza the Great. I think firing Norm Macdonald was the official death of SNL.
Yep.
Yeah.
Probably.
That's
we have two more films to review today. Let's get to this, and then we have an interview with Evan Marlowe, the director of Abruptio. We might do the interview, then review our final film, A Different Man. But let's get to Wild Robot, Alan, if you would.
Yes,
Alan,
Wild Robot. Oh, go ahead.
Okay, Alan, tell me the story of. Let me start over. See, I try to do this so Glenn can get a clean cut. So, Glenn, please delete this. But here we go. The Wild Robot is the new film from DreamWorks Animation. Stars Lupita Nyong'o as the voice of the robot. Alan, tell me the story of the Wild Robot.
Far into the future on a dystopian Earth, ravaged by environmental and climate change disasters, a cargo ship crashes in a forest. And in that ship is one surviving robot named Roz, voiced by Lupita Nyong'o. She awakens. She is basically a household robot. She is given tasks, and she completes those tasks. And when she wakes up, there's no one to give her tasks. There's animals running around her trying to steal her parts. And she tries to shoo them off. She tries to understand them. And at one point during her frenetic existence, she accidentally kills a mother goose and her eggs, all but one egg. And here feels obligated to raise this gosling. And with the help of Fink the fox, portrayed by, of course, Pedro Pascal, they go on this adventure to raise this gosling and teach the gosling how to eat, how to fly, and then how to migrate. I think that's the 3.
That's yeah.
Okay, and to rejoin the rest of her the flock. And this movie is essentially a story of family. of a family that an unlikely family, and it's also a story of friendship. And I will say this: this is from Chris Sanders, who brought us Lilo and Stitch. The movie is very simple, and I like that, especially for kids. The other thing is the art design in this in this movie is beautiful. It's gorgeous. It's kind of like pastel paintings. That's the way everything is drawn. You can kind of see it in the poster here. Disney's Wish tried to be a 2D cartoon with 3D tools. It tried to be stylistic and have this incredible art design. It failed on every measure. This movie succeeds where Disney's Wish failed. Again, it's a very simple story. I think the first half of the movie, you've kind of seen it before. It's a robot, a very naive robot who knows nothing about nature, trying to teach a gosling how to fly. Seems fairly familiar. But then when the robot attack occurs, that's when it really becomes this really wild roller coaster of a story.
Yeah, please don't go any further.
I will go into those details.
I like the second half of the movie. You don't really see much of that in the trailers, and I appreciate it. I'll tell you this. I really love this film. It's very sweet. It's a parental story. The robot becomes something of a mother, to
actually learns to become a mother.
She learns to become a mother, basically admitting, I don't know what being a mother is, but learns to become a mother. And it's inspired by a children's book. So that's what it's based on. And my God, it's so good. It's got all those elements of a heartfelt, simple story. There's nothing. Now, you don't really learn much about the world, except there's been some, it's not preachy is what I'm trying to say. There's nothing preachy about this movie. It's a very simple story. Those kind of stories, I'm going to be honest, really hit me when they are about parental relationships to kids. Like, it gets me in the feels. I saw the film with my daughter. She loved it. I loved it. People were getting choked up. It was a packed screening. Where the Disney has failed, this movie soars. It's so good. And the ending's such a good payoff. I don't even know what the running time was. It didn't feel overly.
I'm pretty sure it's an hour and a half.
Yeah, it felt just right. But and the voice and the sort of strangeness of this robot learning to have some aspects of humanity, finding not only humanity but being a parent and what that means. And I don't want to get into it because the second half is where a lot of the stuff happens.
Yeah, and I really like that second half.
Yeah, the second half is so good.
It's so out there, but it works.
Yeah,
so beautifully. I'll say this. What was I going to say? Now I lost it. Here, let me share. So this is what. Okay,
you're malfunctioning like a robot, Alan. Malfunctioning, Alan.
Yeah, there's this realism to this movie. It takes place in nature, amongst the circle of life, where there are predators and there are prey, and it doesn't hold anything back.
Yeah,
there's just side-eye death that occurs in this movie that is so funny. And it's so real because that's especially when the possum family. That's the only thing I'll say about it.
Oh, I love the possum.
That moment was hilarious, and it was tragic. It was tragic and hilarious. I'll say this: I don't know about your screening, but there were a lot of children at my screening. Children were just eating this up.
Yep.
This movie is for kids. Take your kids to see this movie. Also, this movie is cute as hell. When children weren't reacting, it was the adults with the aw.
Yeah, no. But also, it is for children, but adults will not be bored. Yeah. They're really good and universal themes. No one. I mean, this movie is not. It's not Disney. Let's say that it's not Disney.
DreamWorks.
The thing is this: Disney can't do Disney anymore.
Right.
Whereas Disney was a trusted brand to tell universal stories, Disney cannot do that now.
Yeah, let's put it this way.
Chris Sanders.
Chris Sanders created Lilo and Stitch, an original property. He made them a lot of money from the movie and from the TV show, and Disney let him go, and now DreamWorks has the guy, and he makes this movie.
Yeah.
The other, I'll say this as something you'll never see in an animated feature, but I mentioned the realism before about the death, but also what happens to Roz over time. There are things that you would say to yourself, well, if I was a robot living in the woods, what if this happens? What if that happens? All of that happens. And Roz finds a way to, it's not like she's a super robot that can repair herself completely. She has to make do. She has to improvise.
Yeah.
The
robot ages, you would say. She ages and becomes a victim to the environment because it's out in the wilderness.
And all that pays off at the end. Let's just put it that way. It's a beautiful story. I think kids are going to love it. Highly recommended.
Yeah. So, I recommend it. Probably one of the best animated movies of the year, and really fantastic.
Yeah. Definitely better than Inside Out 2. And that one made a billion enough.
Better than Inside Out 2, for sure. And I did get choked up at the end.
Yeah.
I get choked up when it comes to father, any sort of parent to a child. I get choked up.
Yeah.
And you may too. So kids and adults will love it. I think we both strongly recommend.
Yes. Absolutely.
Let's go to your chat comments and questions. And we've got our interview subject. We'll be with you momentarily. We'll get through these comments here.
All right. Heartbreak Ridge, remember for 2 months, was a bit afraid of Saturday night, but now I'm all in. All I need is a go, no go on Joker 2, and I'm set for a while. Have some shimmer on me.
Oh, thanks for being.
It's a dessert and a floor topping.
Thank you for being a member. And by the way, go to the members videos. We have a Q&A with the filmmakers behind Wild Robot there. So, and we're posting videos every week.
By the way, I know what I just said. So, Magnum Roars for 10. Only a man like Colin Farrell could play a man as grotesque as Cobblepot. LOL. Thomas Pickett for 2. The Wild Robot. It isn't the Wish from Wish.
True.
Absolutely. Hey, it's me in HD. Finally, a true film for the whole family. Yes.
Yes, it is. You will not be disappointed. Whole family will love it.
Bumpy Johnson, what are Chris and Alan's top animated films of 2024 so far? Where does the Wild Robot rank for them?
Number one.
Yeah, number one.
Number one. We can go through the other rankings. Inside Out 2, good.
Yeah.
Minions, but Wild Robot, number one animated movie, should be Oscar nominated for sure.
It will be. Believe me, it will be. Doc Possum, do I need to protest this movie for possum abuse? Yes, you.
I'll just say this. They lean into there is a circle of life, and you're either being chased, you're the prey, the predator. I mean, they discuss it, and I love that aspect.
Yeah. And by the way, Mother Possum, Catherine O'Hara.
So good. So good. So yeah, go see it. We do not want to talk about anymore. All right. We have a very special guest joining us. A film that shocked me that I saw a while ago. And now I'm pleased to tell you all it is now going to be released. So let's bring on Evan Marlowe, the director, to tell us about Abruptio. Evan.
Hi.
Hey.
How you doing?
First, I got to say, it's such an honor to meet you and talk to you. I see you have one of your puppets from the film right behind you. This movie defies description. Thank you for doing the show, by the way.
Oh, it's my honor to be here.
What the hell were you thinking with, I'm going to make a sci-fi thriller action, there's gore, a fest, but I don't want humans in it. Everyone will be a puppet. When did this pop into your head?
I started the script process about 10 years ago, so my memory is a little hazy. So I asked my wife recently, who's got a much better memory. She's about 10 years younger. And she said that I woke up from a dream with the idea of having a film with puppets in it, which sounds about right. So I'm going along with that one.
Yeah, it's the tone of this movie is what makes it work. You didn't film the movie like it was puppets. You just shot the movie like it was a movie with people. You got close-ups, medium shots, wide shots. How did you do this? How did you cast it? Because obviously you have voice actors. What was that process like?
Well, when you're making a puppet movie, as I'm sure many filmmakers know, you kind of have the luxury of getting your voice talent first, if you want to do it that way, and then fabricating your puppets over time. So you kind of, and then you can kind of tweak the script a little bit once you've cast your characters. So basically, when it gets back to, film it like a real film without acknowledging their puppets, that's kind of the question I had from my wife, who's the producer of the film. How should I do this? Should I keep in mind that these are puppets and kind of write the script around that fact? And she just said, no, just write the script as you normally would write a movie, and then we'll problem solve down the road, which was a good idea, but also laid a lot of traps for us because there was a huge amount of problem solving with every scene, stuff that was essentially almost impossible to film because there's no cookbook for this sort of thing. It's never been done before. So I did write it like a regular movie. I still embedded in the idea of it, the whole concept thematically, that, we're all puppets, so that it wasn't just a novelty. It actually made sense within the script and the world. And then from that script, I went out to different actors that we thought would fit the part. And fortunately, I think the concept of it being life-size puppets and only puppets kind of, sold it to a lot of our talent. So they kind of found it an irresistible idea and an interesting experiment, too, to see how this all would play out.
For the sake of the audience, do you want to give a brief synopsis of the story?
Should I give a synopsis?
Yeah.
Okay. On the surface, it's about a guy that realizes there's a bomb that's been implanted in his neck, and he gets these mysterious texts and emails and so forth telling him to do these things or else the bomb will explode. That's where I started with. And then I was, probably in the shower or something, like we always are when we have great ideas. And it was like, well, how about everybody has a bomb in their neck? So then it opened up to the whole end of civilization concept where, everybody's just kind of killing each other off because everyone's got a bomb and they all have to do these terrible things, and humanity's collapsing. So that's at the surface is what this movie's about.
We should I'm going to look up the trailer. Is there a website to the movie?
Yeah, Abruptio.com, and we linked to the trailer. There was an original trailer, which I know you didn't think was that slick, and based on that, I created a news trailer, which I think is a little bit more in line with now modern trailers. So
I just like trailers that don't ruin the movie.
It's hard with this because you want to intrigue, you don't want to give spoilers, and it's a tough sell because you don't know what to expect with a puppet movie.
Yeah, this is I found the website. We will put the link in the description to the show here so people can check it out. But loving this poster. Yeah. Everyone's a puppet. I love that. That is awesome. That is awesome. You. Now the movie was on like the festival circuit for some time, right?
Yeah, it spent 2023. I can't remember exactly. I think it was something like 37 festivals. It was a legitimate festival darling, which surprised me because it's such a weird movie. And then it won about 21 awards in that time for the effects, for our cast. So it was like well received last year.
Yeah, well, let's watch the trailer here. Oh wait, let's watch the trailer and we'll continue.
Put it on the screen. Yeah.
Oh wait, is it? Did I do it? Right?
Select the tab that the trailer is on.
With the correct. Yeah, it's all good. I know what I'm doing. I've done a show before. Let's go to the trailer here. So hang on. Yeah.
I've done some terrible things. Things I didn't think I was capable of. How do you know it's a bomb?
Les Hackle, will you come with me?
You're here to provide your confession.
I haven't done anything.
Have you ever felt that, Lester? An emptiness that you can't fill?
I'm losing my mind. Is there a blessing we should say or something?
Do you think anyone's listening?
Wow. Okay. That
I saw
was
this yesterday.
hope
I
we
saw
don't
it
get into
yesterday, and it's chilling. This movie is chilling.
I hope we don't get into trouble for that. But hey, so how do people react? You're like, I mean, look, you've been working on this movie for 10 years. It's an idea in your head to bring it to life. What were the initial responses at screenings?
It's funny because I tried to attend as many as I could, and it's, as a filmmaker, you don't know how to read the audience when they're watching it. And there were, most of the screenings I went to was almost dead silence. And so you go, oh God, these jokes they don't realize these are jokes and they're not hitting. And, they're just completely indifferent. But then after the screening, they all told me they liked the film. So I think they were just too stunned. I think the first time through the movie, you don't know what the hell is going on. And you're just trying to get into this world you've never seen before. And I think that's why it was such a muted reaction at first. And I think it takes a second viewing to kind of get past that whole shock and kind of figure out what's going on below the level of this movie and figure out what all the motifs are and, the recurring images and things like that. You can't register that the first time through, I think.
We've got almost 2,000 people watching live right now. We have a lot of questions from our chat. Let's go to comments. Let's go to those now. Patrick O'Neill says that puppet. I am not sleeping in the same room or house as that.
We have 3 little kids, and believe me, they feel the same way. They don't, I mean, the 2 older ones have gotten used to it. They've grown up around these puppets. You'd think they'd be used to it. But they're still really unnerving. And I didn't realize there was a deep phobia out there about lifelike puppets, but there is.
There is.
Solomon Thornton, greetings, Sir Evan. What is your approach to filming puppets? Did you storyboard?
Yeah, when I pretty much whenever I do a movie, I write the script, and in the margins I jot down basically, the simple ideas I want for the shots, and then I do storyboard it. The thing is with puppets in particular, because there's not a lot of improvisation on set with puppets, but also when you're taking years and years to make a movie, you can't really alter the plan. You have to get it in your head, set it, what the movie looks like, and then just, from the voice acting all the way to the editing, you have to have that idea in your head and keep coming back to it and make sure that, otherwise the whole thing will fall apart. It won't make any sense by the end of the day. And you really don't know why you're making it, if this thing's going to have legs and become emotionally engaging, or if everyone's just going to keep remembering in every scene that they're watching puppets, which I don't think actually happens. I think eventually most people kind of give into this world.
That's the thing. At the beginning, the movie is kind of mundane, and that's good. It's his office life. It's kind of mundane, but it gets you used to the idea that humans are not in this movie. This is the world. Here's a comment, Darth Yeager, nightmare fuel. I love it.
Sorry.
No, that's good. Another question here from the nerd far away. Hail, Mr. Marlowe. What would you like to do next?
Well, definitely not puppets. But no, I mean, if someone came to me and said, here's some money to make a puppet movie, I'd have to have a reason why. I mean, obviously with Abruptio, the puppets are motivated by the script and the themes. I could do it, but I'd rather not. It's a lot of work. Well, I mean, it's a lot of work when it's just you and your wife for 90% of it. You don't have a crew. So that's probably a big part of it. But if you had people helping you, and you had the budget, the sky's the limit. But I've spent the past year just knocking out feature screenplays of a wide variety of genres and budgets. So, I could do just about anything at this point, except maybe rom-com. Not really comfortable with that yet.
A. Dellis 24, was there a particular art style artist that you were trying to emulate with the look of your characters and the world they inhabit?
Well, film noir is definitely in my blood. So I don't want it to be screamingly obvious when I make anything, but it does inform much of my view of films. And the puppets were always a bit, 90% realistic and 10% puppety when I went with the designers to make this, so that I don't want them to be fully realistic, because then at that point you might as well use actors. So I wanted there to be, just a slight amount, and I think that puts you in the uncanny valley when you're just a little bit away from the full realism of them.
Another question from Krizik. Did you run into any complicated issues when fabricating your puppets? Armature breaking, sculpts not photographing correctly? If so, any tips to avoid issues? What issues did you have with the puppets?
Tips for future.
Oh, wait, here we go. No.
Oh. All right.
Okay, what happened? Okay,
yeah,
you're back.
Something happened.
Okay.
You're okay.
There's two types. Basically you've got this foam latex, and then you've got silicone. Silicone, we did one character, I think, and it's fragile. It looks great, but it's fragile. It tears easily. It's heavy. So we went with this material for most of it. It's more durable, but even then, if we're in extreme heats like we were, and some of these sets were 100 degrees or more exteriors, and these things don't stand up to the sunlight like human beings do. I mean, they have their advantages. Obviously, they don't age over 10 years, but the downside is sometimes they do need repair. So you just want to film all those characters quickly and then retire them and kind of move on to the next set of characters if you can.
Question here for a super chat from Red Pill Rants for $4.99. This looks really cool and imaginative. Now the real question is, what's easier to work with, children, dogs, or puppets? Because the actors, some people refer to actors as meat puppets. So I don't know if you've heard that.
Yeah. I love working with real actors because they're contributing in a way that puppets just don't contribute. Obviously, you have a puppeteer, and much of this is brought to life by the puppeteer, and we couldn't have done it without a very skilled puppeteer. But it's not the same as having, actors that can, digest the script and give you ideas. It's obviously puppets are rung down from that. I've worked with kids. I have kids. They're, unpredictable, and I do like predictability. So that might be a downside. And dogs I love. I'll always work with dogs.
Adellis24 says, what does a typical shooting day look with working with puppets? Were you able to get through your entire shot list most days, or were there still random delays that plague regular set?
Yeah, the thing is, and it's not even so much it's puppets, it's the budget. You basically have 1 day to shoot 3 days or 2 days worth of stuff. You just have to do it because you only have the money to rent a set for 1 day. So I think it's more budgetary, and I definitely come from the Roger Corman school where you just got to knock it out. Yeah, well, you want it to look good, you want to get all the shots you need, but you just need to knock it out. So you have to be extremely organized, sort of like a little army going in. You have to know exactly what you want. You have to prioritize shots. You have to organize them to make your life go smoothly during the day, because you really don't have a cast, you don't have a crew, you don't have all the fancy things. So as long as you're really anal retentive, setting it up in advance, and you've got a complete vision in advance, and you've storyboarded thoroughly, regardless whether it's humans or puppets, it's really makes life easier. That said, with puppets, the way I did it, you had to lip sync. The puppeteer had to keep doing the line over and over and over until he lip synced it correctly, looked good, got all the movements we wanted. You don't typically, gets the eye line correct. You don't have to do that. You don't have to worry about that so much. Actors have to hit their mark, but you don't have to worry about them lip syncing most of the time. So that added a little wrinkle in it. But on the other side, we didn't do any audio on set, so there was no sound quality to worry about. That was all done pre and post. So that took off a lot of the time that normally been used to getting clean sound.
And the puppets are always on time to set.
Always on time. As long as we're on time, they're on time.
Great. And All Twisted Up says, where and when can we see this?
It's comes out today, which is Friday, in theaters. It's got a limited run. If you go to abruptio.com, or our Facebook is Abruptio Film, I will update our theatrical. It'll be available on DVD and Blu-ray, I think, December 10th. If you go to Amazon, you can find it there. And then the VOD, the streaming stuff's going to be hopefully announced fairly soon.
And then from James Woolard, we have an international audience who's a member. Thank you. Any chance of a UK cinema release?
We're hoping. I mean, at least half of our cast and crew is British. I mean, a lot of them couldn't come to the premiere because they live in England. So we've got strong. My wife is British, so we've got strong ties to the UK. I'm really hoping we'll have it. It did play at Grimfest and I think some other British and European festivals last year. But I'm really hoping to get it into the UK cinema at some point. We're working on international sales at this moment.
Great. Well, I got to tell you, Evan, a pleasure and honor to speak with you. I think I emailed you like after I saw it over a year ago.
Yeah.
And I said, oh my God, please keep me informed about this movie when it comes out. I want to talk to you. Thank you for talking to us on the Film Threat Livecast. I do have to let you know, I don't know if you're aware of this. We do an annual award show every year called Award This. It is an award show that gives honor to indie movies, smaller indie films that don't get love from the Oscars. And your movie is eligible for this year because it was reviewed on Film Threat and it's in commercial release. You have distribution. So I don't know if you're in, I don't know where you live. Where are you exactly?
Southern California, Orange County.
Perfect.
Well, then you'll be able to attend. Now, assuming it's nominated, I'm not going to say anything, but I've had my eye on this movie since I saw it over a year ago. Thank you for talking to us.
Thank you.
And
by the way, the award ceremony is at the Frida Cinema. Reach out to them because I'm pretty sure they would show your film there.
Okay, yeah. I've heard of it, so I will look into it.
Okay.
Yeah. So Evan, thank you so much for joining us today. I mean, this has truly been an honor because I love movies that don't do the typical things. This is not a movie you could classify. I mean, if it gets a nomination at Award This, probably fits in our WTF category. It's so original. There's nothing like it. And I got to thank you for joining us today on the show. So
I appreciate all your support you've shown.
Yeah, congrats on the movie. Take care.
Thank you. Goodbye.
That was awesome.
I saw it yesterday and I was just riveted. It surpassed my expectations.
Yeah, the ending you are not gonna believe. Obviously, no spoilers. Just see this movie in a theater, put it on your radar, put it on your watch list, and check it out.
Yep.
All right. From one strange movie to another, let's talk about A Different Man, a film that stars Sebastian Stan as someone who has a birth defect. His face is disfigured, and I don't know how to even describe this movie, but I'll just say this. It's a comedy, but some people could take it as a drama. Alan, tell us the story of A Different Man.
Honestly, I took it as a drama with comedy elements. But you can see Sebastian Stan plays Edward, a man with a disfigurement of his face, and you can kind of see it there in the poster. He basically lives as normal of a life he can. He wants to be an actor. You see him in these industrial films on how to react and conversate with your fellow facially disfigured co-workers. So in walks his new neighbor, Ingrid, played by Renata Renziv, I believe. And they kind of hit it off. They kind of sparks start to fly a bit, and she's a playwright, and she's so enamored with him and his story that she promises one day that maybe she'll make a play based on his life. Okay, and so and she wants him to star in it. So one day, Edward is told by his doctors, "Hey, there's an experimental drug that could actually heal you 100%. And do you want to be part of this this drug testing trial?" And he accepts it, and lo and behold, the drug works, and his face starts to fall off, and he looks like Sebastian Stan, and life takes on a different different tone. He goes out, becomes a successful real estate agent, becomes a model of sorts, and then he finds out that Ingrid has actually written the play, and she, Edward disappears from this change. And so Edward comes in as a different person. I forget the guy's name, but he says that he could play the role. Even though he looks normal, they made a mask of his original face. He wears the mask and does this amazing performance. And Ingrid casts her as his original self. But that all changes when Oswald shows up, played by Adam Pearson, who actually has the same disfigurement in real life that Edward has. And Ingrid is drawn to that and feels like that authenticity is better for her play, and replaces Edward with Oswald. And some interesting things.
You gotta say the thing for Oswald is cool. Like Edward,
Oswald's
the original Edward, even though he's beautiful, he looks like Sebastian. He is Sebastian Stan, played by Sebastian Stan.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of still ugly and kind of a lame person on the inside, whereas he's just the guy Adam Pearson's character is cool. He does yoga.
He embraces life. Yeah,
he embraces life.
He was married at one point and had a child.
He was married and has a kid. He's like a player with women. He's all these things about him that like he succeeds in life in all the ways that Edward does not. It's a comedy. I saw this movie with a packed crowd. They were bursting out laughing. It's like David Lynch made a comedy.
See, I think I have to disagree. I think this is more of a drama than is a comedy. I also look. It's very similar. The themes are very similar to The Substance in this one. In fact, there's a little bit of body horror here, and I'll say this: the body horror, as grotesque as that was, there is a cringy moment at the end, near the end of the, that is so much more cringy than basically Edward's face falling off. This again, just like The Substance, this is almost a Twilight Zone episode. It has something to say about our appearances. It has something to say about the way we see ourselves and the way we accept ourselves. I always think of life as, we're all dealt a hand in life. And you can choose to embrace that hand and make something of that hand, or you can choose to wallow in self-pity. And ironically, it's Edward who decides who has wallowed in self-pity all his life, and Oswald who embraces the hand he was dealt. And that this movie just plays on that. And
that's why it's a okay. I'll disagree with you slightly. It's as much a comedy as it is a drama. How do I know this? When the screening I went to had a Q&A with the director and the cast, Adam and Sebastian Stan. If you're a member of the channel, watch the Q&A. But Adam, the director of the movie, or excuse me, not Adam, Aaron.
It's Oswald, yeah.
Aaron. No. Adam Pearson is the actor. Aaron Schimberg is the director. The director has a cleft palate. So he's trying to deal with these themes, and he said it's a comedy as much as it is a drama.
Well, he's wrong.
Well, I disagree. So the audience I saw it with laughed. You can take it either way. But Aaron Schimberg, amazing job on this movie as director. Yeah. And he has some connection to it because he has a cleft palate. He's dealt with this kind of thing his whole life. It's set in New York. This movie it's amazing, not for everyone. Be clear, not for everyone, okay? Because it's like you made Elephant Man a comedy, all right? There are comedic moments, and I'll just say I love the ideas it's grappling with, about how we look, how we present ourselves, etc. So look,
or how we embrace ourselves and how we
how
we take on the adversities of life and be able to, this whole stupid thing about joy that is coming out in politics. Yeah. Joy to me has always been this idea of finding happiness and contentment with the things you have, and not this constant desire and drive to have things that you don't have, but to find joy and peace with the things that you do have, and that includes the way you look, where you've grown up, your race, your gender, your skin color, everything. Finding joy is being content with that, and that's what this movie's about.
Well, I really enjoyed this film, but it is a difficult movie. It's like two movies. The first half is the story of Sebastian Stan's character's transformation, and then it's how he deals with being handsome, right? While Adam's character, Oswald, is just, he has the disfigurement, but he has the personality of a beautiful person. And because he embraces himself, other people are attracted to that energy. They're attracted to him, to even, he's got this, there's an exchange with one woman in a bar where she's like, oh, you're going to call me? Like, it's hilarious. You can't see it any other way except it's a comedy.
Yeah.
But I agree with you, as much a drama. So I recommend the film. I recommend it. What about you, Alan?
Oh, absolutely. Please go out and see this movie. If you can't handle the substance, see A Different Man.
Yeah, or go see both. Double feature.
Go see both.
Yeah, but this is, you do have to be warned before you go in. I would not watch a trailer though. But
well, I think this poster says it all.
It does. It does. So strong recommend from both of us. Would you agree?
Absolutely.
All right. There you go. Let's go to your chat comments and questions, starting with M. Simon gifted 10 Film Threat memberships. New members, watch our member exclusive videos.
All right.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, Gatekeeper member for 3 months. Once things are better, I'll be supporting you again.
Well, thank you.
Your membership is good enough. Hey, it's me in HD. Alan is a true critic saying the director's vision is wrong. That's right. It's wrong.
That's fine.
All right. Amazon, did we get this one? Amazon became a YouTube member. Okay.
Thank you for becoming a member.
Okay. Oilers Workshop for $4.99. Do you know what they say about guys with big Crocs? They get big super chats.
Thanks, Oilers Workshop. I got big Crocs now I can't get rid of. So there you go.
ADL is 24. Imagine being the only one thinking it's a comedy in the theater and the rest of the crowd taking it deadly serious. It's a serious movie. I don't know what to tell you. It is a very serious movie.
Look, you saw it. How many people were at your screening?
It was half full. It's a big theater though, but it was half full. And,
okay. I saw it with a packed crowd and they laughed.
There were funny moments, laugh out loud moments, but it's a drama. It's taken so seriously. There's
a series of jokes about presidential assassinations.
Yeah.
Okay.
But there was a discussion. There was a discussion about Beauty and the Beast that was so on point.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
It was great. It was
great.
Yeah.
Razorburn, Chris survived Helena. We're safe here. Hey,
that's great to hear, Razorburn. I've been keeping track of my friends in Florida, and they all seem to be, doing okay.
And 100% guaranteed, Razorburn has Batman Crocs. Patrick Lemaire, which one is Siskel and which one is Ebert? I think we've talked about this story.
We should vote. Okay. I think that you're Ebert.
I think I'm Siskel.
No. Let the chat decide. That is always right.
Whichever you think has the most movie history knowledge, that would be you. And I feel like that's Roger.
Well, I think that Roger was always more likable. I'm probably less likable. I'm Siskel. True. You're Ebert.
All right.
No, I'm just that the audience will decide.
Okay. Nerd Far Away sounds original. I'm interested.
Yes, it's very original. Like
I've never seen a movie like this before.
Oh my god! Well, finally now it's the fall and we've gotten through summer. We've seen all the stuff that's kind of lame, and we're getting movies that have weight and substance.
We're getting the awards movies.
Yes, and I'm very happy for that.
Yeah.
So go see it.
And also I'd like to say we've talked about this a long time ago, but welcome back nudity.
Yeah, welcome back.
Yeah. In fact, ladies, men, there's something for everyone in this movie.
topless Alan.
Yeah. I'll say the last 3 movies I've seen, nudity, and it's not Superman. Brock Samsonite, wait, so is this true? The true story of the Elephant Man?
No, it's not. It's someone who has it's about someone who has the same affliction. It's set present day.
Yeah. But their outlook on life is very much different than the Elephant Man.
Yeah. We're not going to get to all the films. There's one movie, Lee, that came out with Kate Winslet. I don't know if do we want to talk about that?
Well, both of us fell asleep halfway through.
To be clear, Alan and I saw the movie Lee with Kate Winslet, and we were both bored, and she's topless in it.
Yes. And that's the best part of the movie. Again, thank you for bringing nudity back to movies.
Yes. So I don't think it's fair to actually review because we didn't see the whole thing. But it's telling that both of us had the same reactions. Like, oh, this is so boring.
Well, it wasn't that. It's we have seen this movie before.
Yeah, it's
long story short,
historical drama.
Yeah, long story short, it's about a woman who is a wartime photographer. But this one goes way back to World War I, I believe.
Yeah.
And again, if you've seen the female wartime photographer movie, and how she has to come up against a male-dominated industry or occupation, that's this movie, and you've seen it before.
I got like maybe 30, 40 minutes in, and I was I don't want to watch this. And then I thought to myself, Alan's watching this. I don't have to. And I turned it off.
Yeah. The only interesting thing about this movie is when Andy Samberg appears halfway through the movie.
I didn't even get that far.
You didn't get that far? Yeah. Andy Samberg plays a big role in this movie.
Oh my God. Ugh. But I love Kate Winslet.
Yes.
And but that's it for us today. We will return on Monday with Versus, a new episode of Versus. We'll be talking probably Penguin, because we'll have seen the second episode, and then a special late night episode of we'll discuss Joker 2. Alan and I will have seen it. It will be late. It will be a short episode, short live stream, but join us Monday night. And then Hollywood on the Rocks, Film Threat Livecast on Fridays with reviews. Alan, what are you doing this weekend? Tell everybody.
I will be at the Catalina Film Festival. In fact, I'm leaving in 2 hours.
Catalina Island Film Festival. Alan is going. He will shoot tons of video for our members, right?
Yeah, I will have Alan barfing on the boat videos.
Oh, do a video from the boat.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
from the boat.
I've been to Catalina many times, and I will tell you, I am not looking forward to the boat trip.
The boat, it's how long? It's about an hour?
Hour and a half.
Ugh.
And it's rocky. Just to get from Long Beach to Catalina, it is not a smooth ride in any way.
All right, well, enjoy yourself there. I'm seeing movies this weekend. I'm seeing the new NTR film, and want to say, take care, friends.
Oh, did you? I'm sorry, I'm hitting buttons here.
Thanks to our mod, Lord Thaw. Thanks to you in the chat. I guess I'm keeping the Crocs, so that's happening. And hey, it's me and HE. Nudity and Gore was bored. Must be a snooze fest. Yeah. Hey, it's me and HD. So, and thank you to our producers, Atomic Glory, Glenn Nuccio, and yeah, thank you to you, Alan.
Thank you, and have fun this weekend.
I'm just going to movies.
Yeah.
So there you go. All right, Alan.
Let's get out of here.